Take a good look at the black woman in this photograph. She was 94 years old the day it was taken. Look at her skin. There is not a line on it that matches her age. And she never bought a single thing to keep it that way. Everything she knew came from the kitchen, from the wash pot, from her own two hands, and from the black women who came before her. Nobody wrote any of it down. It was shown in the quiet, from a grandmother to a granddaughter, with the door pulled shut, more than 20 rules, followed every day and buried on purpose so you would spend your money somewhere else. We are going to bring every one of them back, and by the last one, you will know exactly who took them from you. Number 20. Black women rinse their hair with the same vinegar that sat next to the greens on the stove, apple cider vinegar. After the wash, a black woman poured a cup of it, cut with water, straight through her hair, from the root to the ends as the very last rinse. It stripped the soap film, calmed an itching scalp, and closed the hair down flat so it caught the light like glass. The smell lifted off as it dried and left nothing behind but the shine. A jug of cider vinegar cost a dime and did the cooking, the cleaning, and the hair, all three. The bottle they sell today for the scalp health and shine is that same plain vinegar in a prettier label at 10 times the price. Number 19. On the vanity of a black woman in the 1950s sat a white jar of Pond's cold cream, and it did the work of a whole shelf. Every night she took a fingertip of the cold cream and massaged it up over her face in small circles, from the jaw to the temple. Then she wiped it away with a soft tissue, and the tissue came off gray with the whole day on it. No soap, no scrubbing, no 10 steps. One jar, one motion, clean skin. Pond's cost about $0.25, and a single jar lasted for months. The cleansing balm on the counter now, the one that promises to melt the day away, is chasing what a black woman did with a quarter jar and a square of tissue. Quick pause, one breath only. Everything on this list came from our women, the black women who knew and were never thanked. Your own grandmother was probably one of them, so stay close. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you kindly. Now, back to the countdown. Number 18. A black woman would not wash her hair in hard well water if she could get around it. She kept a wooden barrel under the downspout at the corner of the house and caught the rain. Rainwater is soft, and soft water rinsed clean and left the hair with a shine that hard water and its minerals dulled right out. On wash day, she dipped from the barrel, warmed it on the stove, and used that and nothing else. Her hair came out lighter to the touch, and it took a press better and held it longer. The rain fell for free. The clarifying rinse on the shelf today, the one that swears it strips the buildup and brings the shine back, is selling you what the sky dropped at the corner of the porch. Number 17. When a black woman wanted her edges laid and a wave that would hold, she made the gel herself on the stove. A handful of okra or a spoon of flaxseed went into a pot of water and cooked down until the water turned into a clear, slick gel. She strained it through a cloth and let it cool. Worked through the hair with the fingers. That gel laid the edges down smooth and set a wave that held all day in the heat. No flakes, no crust, just hold. A few pods of okra out of the garden cost nothing. The little jar of edge control and setting gel they sell now is water, a thickener, and a fancy name, standing in for the slick a black woman boiled straight out of a vegetable. Number 16. In a beauty shop on Hastings Street, a black woman set finger waves with nothing but a comb and her own 2 hands. She pressed a ridge into the wet hair with 2 fingers, slid the comb through to shape the trough below it, then the next ridge, and the next. One long, unbroken wave laid across the whole head. A little pomade held the shape. A scarf tied over the top set it hard while it dried. By evening, the waves lay flat and glossy and sharp enough to draw with a pencil. A comb and a jar of pomade were the whole cost. The salon now charges by the hour to carve in what a black woman pressed with her fingers at the kitchen mirror. Number 15. A black woman reached for the same blue bottle that settled a sour stomach, and she painted it right onto her face. Milk of magnesia. On a hot day, when the shine would not quit, she brushed a thin coat over the forehead, the nose, and the chin, and let it dry down to a flat chalk. Then she wiped it back and set her powder over the top. Her face held matte clean through the whole church service and the long walk home. No shine breaking through. Not once. It sounds like nothing. It worked better than anything they sell for the job today. A bottle cost pennies, and it was in the medicine cabinet already. The mattifying primer at the counter now runs $30 for that very same trick out of a nicer bottle. Number 14. In a drawer by the bed, a black woman kept a small amber bottle of castor oil, thick and slow to pour. Every night she took a single drop on a fingertip and worked it into her brows and along her lash line. Castor oil is heavy, and left on all night it fed the brow and the lash both, so each grew back in full and dark. A few weeks of it, and her brows filled the whole arch on their own, with no pencil at all. A bottle cost under $1 and lasted a year. The lash and brow serum they sell now, in a tube the size of a lipstick, runs past $100, and it is castor oil doing most of the work inside it. Number 13. In a bowl on the kitchen table, a black woman beat up an EGG, or a spoon of the mayonnaise she made herself from egg and oil. This was a treatment, not a meal. She worked it through her hair from the scalp to the ends, covered the whole head with a cap or a plastic bag, and let it sit an hour while she got on with her work. The egg fed the hair all the way down, rinsed out in cool water, never hot, or it would cook. The hair came away soft and heavy and thick with shine. An egg cost a few cents. The deep repair mask they sell now, the tub with the long list of oils printed on the back, is chasing what one egg did straight out of the icebox. Number 12. A black woman had her own way to handle the first gray, and it never came in a box. Strong black tea, or a pot of sage boiled dark and left to cool, poured slow through her hair as the last rinse of the day. Done every wash, the tea and the sage deepened the color and dimmed the gray a little more each time, so slow that no one could name the day it changed. Nobody had to know. A handful of tea or a few sage leaves from the yard cost her nothing at all. Now stop and count it up. The rainwater, the vinegar, the okra, the egg, the tea, and the sage. A whole year of hair that turned heads came to less than one visit to the salon cost today, and nearly all of it never left the kitchen. Number 11. Long before a toothbrush ever reached her, a black woman cleaned her teeth with a stick. A green twig off a dogwood or a sweet gum tree, chewed at one end until it frayed out into soft bristles, then rubbed slow across the teeth and along the gums. Sometimes a little baking soda went on the frayed end for scrub. The twig cleaned the teeth white, and the sap in it was good for the gums. She broke a fresh one off the tree whenever the old one wore down. The stick cost nothing and grew right there in the yard. The whitening kit they sell now, the strips and the trays and the little pin, is trying to buy back the shine a black woman got off a branch for free. Now, before the last 10, one quiet word. So many of you have asked where to find these written down. The rinses, the remedies, the amounts all in one place. They are gathered for you in the guides at blackgrandmasvault.com. The same rules these women kept, set down plain, so nothing gets lost again. That is the whole reason the guides exist. Now take a breath with me. The next 10 are the ones black women guarded closest of all, and number 10 is where it turns. Number 10. Come the first warm week of spring, in a kitchen off Sweet Auburn, a jar of blackstrap molasses came down off the shelf, and nobody under that roof got away from the spoon. This was the spring tonic. A black woman stirred a pinch of sulfur into a heaping spoon of the thick, dark molasses, took it herself first, then dosed every soul in the house the same. She swore it cleaned the blood after a long winter and cleared the skin for the season coming. The taste was its own punishment, and the children knew it, and they lined up anyway, because there was no getting past her. She took it every spring without fail. A little sulfur and a jar of molasses cost almost nothing. The skin from within capsules and the blood cleanse powders they sell now for a small fortune are selling a black woman's spring spoon back to you in a bottle with a website on it. Number 9. On the top shelf of the pantry stood a brown bottle of a cod liver oil, and in a black woman's house, a spoon of it went down every single morning. She took it for her skin and her hair as much as anything else, and chased it fast with a bite of something to cut the taste. She believed that what went right on the inside showed up on the outside, in clear skin and a thick head of hair. So the spoon came out daily, and the children got theirs too, whether they cared for it or not. The bottle cost little and lasted the season out. The beauty capsules on the counter now, the ones marked for skin, hair, and nails, are the same fish oil a black woman held her nose and swallowed every day of her life. Number 8. Long before a roll-on ever sat in a store, a black woman kept herself fresh with what was already in the kitchen: a dusting of baking soda under the arms, or cornstarch to take up the damp and hold off any smell. A block of alum, wet under the tap and rubbed on, closed the skin and held the sweat back for hours. No scent to fight her perfume, no sting, no stain, just dry and clean through a long, hot day in her Sunday clothes. A box of soda and a lump of alum cost a few cents and lasted for months. The clinical antiperspirant they sell now, at a premium, is reaching for exactly what a black woman kept for pennies in the cupboard by the stove. Number 7. On the back of the stove sat the pot the greens had cooked down in, and the black woman would not pour out what was left in the bottom of it. That dark liquid, the pot liquor, went into a jar and got drunk down like a tonic. All the good the greens gave up in the cooking sat right there in that water, and she took it for strength, for her skin, for whatever ailed anybody in the house. A cup of it went to a child looking peaky, sopped up with a piece of cornbread. It cost nothing. It was headed for the drain otherwise. The green powders and the collagen broths they sell now by the tub are a store-bought reach for the cup a black woman poured off the back of her stove for free. Number 6. A black woman would not let sweat ruin a good dress, and she never once trusted the dress alone to survive the day. A pair of crescent-shaped shields, basted or buttoned into the underarm of the dress, caught the damp before it could ever reach the cloth. A dusting of talcum over the top kept it dry. Her good Sunday dress came home with no ring, no stain, no smell on it, ready to wear again the next week. A pair of shields cost a little and moved from dress to dress for years. One dress guarded that way outlasted 3 that were left bare. The market now sells throwaway pads for the very same job. A new one every wear, money going out the door each time. Number 5. Tucked into the front of her slip, a black woman kept a folded handkerchief and a small cloth sachet, and both of them carried a scent. She dabbed the hanky with a drop of vanilla, or a touch of evening in Paris, and sewed a pinch of cloves and dried rose into the little sachet. Held close to the warmth of the body, the scent lifted all day, soft, never sharp, and kept her sweet through the heat and the long hours. A hanky and a few cloves cost almost nothing. The body sprays and the fine mists they sell now to do the very same thing are gone in an hour and the bottle empty by the month. Hers lasted from the first hymn to the last. Number 4. A black woman took the same care with her feet that she took with her face, because a Sunday shoe shows nobody any mercy. At night, she worked a rough heel smooth with a pumice stone, greased the whole foot thick with petroleum jelly, and pulled an old pair of cotton socks on over the top before bed. By morning, the heels were soft, the cracks had closed, and the good shoes slid on without a wince. A stone, a jar, and a worn-out pair of socks cost her nothing new. The foot creams, the masks, the pedicure booked every 2 weeks are all reaching for what a black woman did overnight for free. Number 3. When the milk went sour, a black woman did not pour it out. She put it on her face. A cup of buttermilk, or clabbered milk gone thick, smoothed over the skin and left to sit until it tightened, then rinsed off with cool water. The sour milk softened the skin and smoothed the surface, so it took powder clean and even the next morning. It cost her nothing but the milk that had already turned. The acid peel and the resurfacing treatment they sell at the counter today, the one that promises smoother skin, is doing what a cup of gone-off milk did on a black woman's back porch for free. Number 2. On the edge of the sink sat a bottle a black woman mixed herself, rosewater and glycerine, shaken together until it clouded. Morning and night, she patted it over her face with her fingers. The rosewater freshened, and the glycerin pulled the moisture into the skin and held it there, so her face stayed soft and never went tight or ashy. 2 things from the drugstore mixed at home, 1 bottle that lasted for months. That was the whole of it. The toner, the essence, and the hydrating mist lined up on the shelf now, 3 separate bottles at a steep price, are the 2-cent mix a black woman shook up on the edge of her own sink. Number 1. And the last one was never a product at all. It was a belief. In a house where the money was short, and the time was even shorter, a black woman still decided she was worth the hour it took, worth the rainwater carried in and warmed on the stove, worth the okra boiled down and the egg beaten up, and the spoon of molasses she hated, worth taking a stone to her own heels at the end of a long working day. None of it came easy, and she did it anyway, because to let herself go was to tell the world it had finally won. And here is the part that mattered most of all. She did every bit of it where a granddaughter could sit and watch. A young black girl on the edge of the bed, saying nothing, catching the order of it, the rainwater, the vinegar, the sage, the slow sweep of the comb, learning by sight what no one would ever write down. That is how the whole of it moved from one hand to the next, not in a book, in a kitchen, between a black woman and the girl watching her, with the work laid bare between them. And the day that girl stopped being let in to watch, none of it failed because the okra quit working. It failed because the showing stopped. And here is what nobody says out loud. These rules did not die because women got smarter. They did not fall away because science turned up something better. They were replaced, one by one, on purpose. Every rinse that cost nothing was answered with a bottle that cost real money. Every remedy a black woman boiled on her own stove was renamed, wrapped, and sold back to her granddaughter at a markup. The woman who once ran her whole face and her whole head with what sat in the kitchen was told she was no longer the one to do it. She needed the right product now. She needed the right shelf. The knowing that once lived in a black woman's own two hands got moved into a store she had to drive to and a routine she could not afford to finish. That was not progress. That was a sale. And she was not the customer. She was the product. Somewhere right now, a granddaughter is watching a black woman shake a bottle of rose water on the edge of a sink. The scent lifts. The hands move. And with no words at all, the showing starts again. If you want more of what these women knew and never wrote down, the next video is already waiting for you.